Hi, and welcome back to Purposeful Woman. And today we have another purposeful, amazing woman from Sweden, Dr. Annika Sorensen. She's a medical doctor from Sweden, stress strategist, calm catalyst, speaker, author, mentor, seminar leader. Today, she has changed focus from disease to calm and health promotion, stress management, and other business-related issues. Dr. Annika is helping busy business leaders feel calm, feel less stress, get more done, and have more fun and create bigger success. Hi, and welcome, Dr. Annika.
Hi, thank you so much for having me here.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I would love to hear your story and how did you start it on being a doctor, I guess, first, and then working with leaders?
Yeah, I've been working as a medical doctor most of my life, and I had a big tragedy right when I started to be, when I took my medical exam, because I lost two very dear people at that time, and that formed my career, so to speak. So I lost a baby. She was 10 weeks old, and I lost my brother within 1 week. Two different things, but they in 1 week. So I was really down in the black hole. Had a hard time to figure out how to get out of there. I was supposed to be blooming, go out and be the doctor and save the world. And I was in this black hole. But I had friends and family, and they helped me. I got professional help too, because you do have to ask for professional help when life is really, really hard. And I got back on track. We got 3 more babies, and they are today grown-up ladies, 3 girls. And we have a granddaughter too. So we have 4 girls today. Anyway, I was working as a doctor, and like I said, this formed me over the years, and I found the doctor work very stressful with the kids at home and full-time work. And about 15 years ago, I started to look for a solution for myself, because I thought that, that stress wall, that was just coming closer and coming closer and coming closer. And I just didn't want to walk right into it. So I took a step back and I started to look, what can I do? And I realized that if I took I did take a course in stress management, I realized that didn't only help me to get back on track. It also made me realize that the medical knowledge that I have and meeting all these patients over the years, I realized that so much is coming from stress, and I could pick up what I learned then many years ago when we lost these people in my life. I could see that what I did then, that's what you can use for stress management in ordinary life. And instead of treating disease, I decided to help people to not become patients. So then I had to also figure out where do I want to work, and I realized that business leaders, they take care of everyone else but themselves. So I see that it's so much fun and feels so good when I can help a business leader to feel well, because then their business will bloom.
Yeah.
So that's where I am today, helping business leaders not become patients.
I love that, because most of the doctors, and I live in America, but I'm European, and I know that here, and probably the most of our audience located in here in America, it's more about treating the disease instead of preventing becoming a patient. And it's so important.
And the doctor is not supposed to do that work in the healthcare system, at least not in Sweden. We are supposed to prescribe medicine and, and that healthcare thing, that's something you're supposed to do by yourself. But I would say that in the healthcare, in the primary care where I have been working, 75 to 85% of the patients coming, they have lifestyle issues. Even when we talk about diabetes or cardiovascular disease and all those things, obesity, depression, it's based on how we treat ourselves.
Yeah.
And if we can help each other to treat ourselves better before we get ill, then we're going to save so much for everyone.
So how do we start in doing that? When, what is the best time to start manage your stress? And why the stress knowledge is so important to know about it?
The best time to start is now, or it was 20 years ago, as they say about planting trees. The best time was a long time ago, before you kind of get into it. But start anytime when you realize that that's what you need to do. So there is no best time. All the time is the best time to start. Mm-hmm. And there is a problem with the stress in people, because we usually don't see it in ourselves. We kind of stick our head in the sand and think that no, it's not me. I'm fine. I'm okay. I don't want to be a victim, or I don't want to be someone that can't manage. And especially the leadership, they are supposed to be the strong ones and be there for everyone else. And if you tell someone that they are stressed, then they're going to say, no, I'm not stressed. Don't talk to me like that. I'm not stressed. Because we don't see it. We fool ourselves. And that's the human way of doing it, because that's the built-in system. We want to be seen as good people.
So what is the first signs of understanding when stress occurs? Like, how do you catch those first signs?
It is usually, like I said, creeps on you. It's when you don't have time to have a rest, and you keep on doing things, and then you start losing your memory. You get angry. You get unpleasant to the people around you, because your mind can't really think, so you forget things and you have to redo it. And we start getting headaches, stomach aches. We sleep less well, all depending on where on the scale you are. And when this goes on for a while, and you have high stress hormone levels for a long time without taking time to rejuvenate, then we usually start feeling, we feel like we are not as good as other people. The self-awareness is, we think that we are losers, that we cannot do the things that other people can do, and we lose ourselves. And then if it goes on further, you can get into depression. And also the cortisol, that is one of the hormones that's pumping around in your blood when you are stressed all the time. You can get all these diseases like diabetes or heart failure, cardiovascular disease, obesity. All those things can occur because you have too high cortisol levels in your bloodstream. So what you need to do is to rejuvenate every now and then. And that means taking a break. And that means from day one to take a break.
So let's talk about what's the best ways to manage our stress. What's the best ways to prevent stress, the tools for it?
As I see it, there are two kind of things you have to manage. And one is that in the moment when you do get stressed, I mean, when things just add up and you feel, oh, I can't think anymore, and you lose what you're doing and you don't remember, and your brain is just, yeah, it's just not doing any good work. You know what I mean? In that moment, we have to take a break. And the very best way is to take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath, like in through your mouth or in through your nose. Hold it for a minute or a few seconds, and then out through your mouth.
I was like,
And
wow,
then
hold
you
it
let,
for a minute.
yeah,
That will
don't
be
hold it for
a
a
little
minute.
challenging to do.
You can do the breathing exercise for a minute, but hold it for a few, and your shoulders will just fall down automatically when you breathe out. And you do that for a few minutes or a minute or two, and then your brain will have to think about your breathing instead of on your problem. And your brain can only have one thought at a time. And if you think of your breathing, then your problem got a little less important. And when you come back to it, it will be a little further away and you can start thinking clear about it again.
Yes.
So that's one thing you can do. The second thing you can do in the moment when you feel that you're losing it, that is to stand up, jump a little, stretch your arms, whatever, take a walk in the corridor, move your body, because the movement enhances the thinking ability. And at the same time, as you do the moving things, your brain still can't think too much of the problem at the same time. So it gets a little away and your thinking gets clear again, and then you solve your problems easier again. And the third thing that I usually talk about when we talk about these, the quick in the moment thing, is to take what I call a mini meditation. You close your eyes and you say a kind word, and I use release to yourself for a minute. Release, release, release. For the same reason as I said before, your brain can only think of one thing, and when you're over, the problem is a little bit less frightening, and you can think clearer and you can solve it. So those are things that you do in the moment. But if you keep doing whatever you're doing in the same way, you're going to get into these situations over and over and over again. So long-term stress management is to make changes with those situations where you usually get into these loops of too much overdrive in your brain. And when I talk about that, I usually, when I work with people, I take what I call a virtual helicopter ride with them to look at their life, because you have to figure out what's your problem, what's the hiccup in your life, because we have different things. If you say you're going to do a change with this, that might not be what I need, and vice versa. So then you have to figure out, what do I need to change? And then you have to do changes. And I mean, that takes energy. And to get energy, you have to take care of yourself. So that's the third thing you really need to do, is to take good care of your body with sleep, eat, and exercise.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a whole program.
The essentials, because it is everything you just mentioned. It is essentials, for human body, but we forget about it when we work. We don't breathe properly. We don't drink properly. We don't sleep properly. We don't move our bodies. But everything that you mentioned, it's essentials for human being, for human body anyway.
We are talking about basic biology, nothing else. That's all there is. And Also, it's free and you always have it with you. You don't have to remember to bring stuff. You don't have to remember to turn it on or off because you are always there. So it's, in a way, it's really simple. But on the other hand, it's really hard.
And like my recommendation, when I started to see that my stress levels will get high, what I incorporated in my life as an entrepreneur is I actually put alarm on whenever I need to take a walk, or let's say right now we're in the Zoom room for a whole day and it means we're sitting. So what I've created for myself in my schedule, besides this week when I've been recording all of the cool, awesome show and interviews, and I still do have like some breaks between, but usually I schedule 1 or 2 hours of connection calls, but on the phone, so I can actually walk. And I only have that option for the connections call on the phone. So I know I can just take them and I can walk around at least. So that will be like my midday move. And since I started to doing that and just moving my body, just walking around for 30, 40 hour, like my stress levels definitely went down so much more, that I feel so much more calmer just going back to work and being excited and have more ideas. So that is really helpful. So what do you recommend, as well as speaking about leadership? Because leaders has a lot more responsibilities, and handling stress, it's that skill that you get to just really master. What?
Yeah, well, it's like I said, it's the basis of life. So you have to ponder about what you really want with your leadership. Because if you are just taking on everything, you're gonna walk right into that wall that I talked about before. It's always there, very close to you. so for the leadership, I would say if they have problems figuring it out, I think they need a mentor or someone, accountability partner, or someone who can help them to stay on that track. Because if they care for themselves in a good way, they will have more energy to do the hard stuff, and they will not have to do things over and over again. They will keep their temper, or feeling good about themselves and their stuff if they treat themselves good. You always have to start with yourself. And also, there is a problem with this stress thing for the leadership, because some people think that this is mental illness, and it's not. This is just part of life. And mental illness, people are scared of it, and it's a no-no, and don't talk about it, and I'm not going insane, and all that fear that people have because they don't know how it works. Most people know that they should eat right and exercise and sleep, but they don't know how they should do it, because they listen to everyone else, and if nobody around knows or helps them stay on track, it's very hard to stay on track, because our biology from the savannah, that was just, at that time we were fighting with the animals, and you had to run or fight or play dead, and you can't do that in the society today. And also what you needed was you needed food, you needed to be able to move around because that's the way to survive, and you needed to make babies. That's what life was for. And those basic instincts are still the same with us, because we as human beings haven't changed. The society has changed to 24/7, but we are still what you call daytime people. Like when at that time they were in the caves and slept at night. They were not sitting by the TV or
Yes, they definitely disturb our natural biology of having so much monitors and lights. I've suffered from
Yeah,
insomnia when I used to live in New York, and my insomnia was actually caused by just the light
yeah,
and really not turning off the lights at the end of the day and staying always, with the laptop on and really working a lot, not really giving yourself like proper slowing down before going to
yeah,
sleep, because then you will get to the bed and your brain will just slow down for some time, so it's like an hour, and that what's called insomnia is just you actually giving yourself time to slow down. But
yeah.
our body
And
naturally
people,
wakes up with the sun and goes sleep when it's dark.
yeah, and people think that they can save time by staying up late. If I work more hours than sleep less, I will save time. But I will tell you, no, you're going to lose time because you get tired, you do faults, you have to do it over again, and you get unhappy. I mean, in a sense, people think this is sounds like boring because you have to be so perfect. And I say you don't have to be so perfect. You can cheat every now and then, but not every day. I mean, if you go to a party in the weekend, that's fine. And if you eat something that is too much sugar or too much fat or whatever one day, that's fine, as long as you do it right most of the time.
Yes, you get to give yourself grace. We are
Yeah,
humans, no blame, no shame, no guilt. It's life, and we're getting it as the best as we can
yeah.
through this life. Thank you
And
so much.
just one more thing that is very important, and that is to think positive,
Yes.
to look at things from the bright side rather than from the dark side. And like you said, grace yourself. Don't, would you say, get down on yourself because you do wrong sometimes. Say, that's life. Now I'm going to do it better.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for your knowledge, and so good always to see international speakers with me. And please share with us what you're sharing. What is your gift for us today?
Oh, I have a small ebook that is called Leadership with Less Stress. And that's what you call a starter kit for doing the things that I've been talking about today, to take yourself from your chaos into your calm world. And if you go to my website, askdrannika.com, askdrannika.com, then you will find it right on top there, and you can see it, and just click and you will get to the page where you can get the book. Yeah, it's just it's a starter kit.
Beautiful. And I know that that book will help you increase productivity, get more energy, feel happier at work, and give you the success you deserve in 3 simple steps. Please do go grab it. If you're watching this episode or listening, it's going to be there, or it's going to be here. It's always in the show notes, and you can always find the links and the buttons, and everything will be on the side or below. Thank you so much for coming on, Annika, and it was such a pleasure to meet you today, and looking forward to new collaborations.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And thank you so much, everybody, for listening. We'll see you in the next show. Bye. And if you love this episode and you would love to see more of that, click the subscribe button to Purposeful Woman Podcast. And don't forget to text us to stay in tune with the Purposeful community for awesome tricks by texting to number +1 401 399 4105, and we will link descriptions in the episode to all of that we mentioned today. Bye. Turn your one day to day one with a purposeful day.